offer of mercy. Judgment is coming, and it is going to crush all those who give deaf ear to the calling of the Spirit. Judgment is coming to all those who look down on the suffering that Jesus went through on the cross. Judgment is coming to sweep through all men and women who care less about their soul while alive, gave all the attention to beautify their body. Judgment that is coming have no respect to your religious background or your positions in the society if you fail in accepting Jesus into your life. Man saw light but preferred darkness. Man saw life but preferred death. He saw grace but preferred judgment. He saw salvation but goes for condemnation. That's a reason for this unavoidable judgment that awaits all who do not pay attention to the gifts of salvation. Love started it all. Love pulls God. And immediately love moved. God reacted. And that reaction is him coming to the earth in the form of a man in order to die for man on the cross at Calvary, so that man will be legally set free from the condemnation that sin brought to man. And only those who travel with him to Calvary and received to themselves that salvation that he traveled far on the Calvary tree to procure will avoid this condemnation that awaits all. You must accept that he died for you. And you will not stop there. You must confess to him as your Lord and personal Savior. Then believe in your heart that he rose again from death. With these steps, you will be justified. But without these steps, every other thing you do will amount to the waste of time on the last day. Instead of man to follow these laid down principles, steps that lead to his salvation, man decided to choose another way which he thinks will provide him salvation. And this way that man carved out for himself is hugely expensive. It cost them so much. A man decided to stick to it. And that's why a huge number of them are traveling into eternity unprepared. And as soon as they got there, they are disappointed, and there is nothing they will do. Because we are being told that there is no salvation in the grave. There is no remembrance of death of the dead after he must have died. And that's the reason we need to be careful and to think on what to do before it becomes late. Proverbs 16:25. Proverbs 16:25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, But the end thereof are the ways of death. All other ways the man has made for himself leads to eternal destruction. Whatever the name they give to that way, it might wear religious cassock. It might lead them to traveling to a particular country or countries of the world that they tag the land. It might lead them to be buying animals every year. It might lead them to be fasting and praying every day. It might lead them to visit hills and mountains and valleys and bodies of water. But at the end of the day, they will discover it end them nothing but death. Any other way, aside from the way to Calvary, will lead humanity to eternal condemnation. Any other person that humanity put their hope on, no matter how highly we exalt that person, or he made humanity to believe that he is, aside from Jesus Christ, so long as humanity's salvation is concerned, will lead to everlasting punishment. Any other religion, aside from the divinely appointed way, will lead man to an endless eternity of suffering at a lake that burns with fire and brimstone. If you read Acts chapter 9, we've been reading this since we're digging from this John chapter 3:16. Acts chapter 9 verse 1. And saw ye breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, underlined, any that is traveling on this highway of reconciliation with God. And any other religion aside from this way approved by God, we end man destruction. Look at John 14. John chapter 14. I read verse number 6. John 14, 6. Jesus said unto him, I am the way. That's it there. The truth and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. This settles all arguments. This answers all questions. This silences every other religion on earth before and after the Calvary. This as a condemnation to humanity on the last day, who see light but prefer darkness, who see way but prefer to enter into the jungle that leads them nowhere. You need that way back to God, which Adam lost at Eden. If you must end well, you need that truth that man lost at Eden when he embraced falsehood that led to disaster. Jesus is that way. You need life back that will enable you to live God in his paradise throughout a long eternity. There is no other way but Jesus. That's why the only approved way is the way to Calvary. The only way that leads home. The way of the cross is the only way that leads home. Every other way will land you to the bottomless pit, where you will cry throughout eternity. No one will get sight of the gates of light if he misses the way of the cross. That's the only way. The way of the cross. That's the only way. The way to Calvary. That's the only way that leads to reconciliation and salvation. Every other way leads to disaster. Not minding how expensive that other way may look like. Matthew 27:45. And from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Darkness appeared while he was on the cross at Calvary and lasted for only 3 hours. And we have 24 hours. That makes a day. So, in these 24 hours, darkness took only 3 hours and then left humanity with 21 hours. That tells you how insignificant the works of darkness is on earth. That tells you how minute in the eyes of eternity the works of darkness seems to last on earth. That tells you the minute time the works of the darkness lasted on this earth. What does this signify? It signifies that no matter how powerful the dark world thinks they were, they have only insignificant time on earth to operate, and then they will be banished forever. 3 hours in 24 hours. It simply means that no matter how powerful darkness thinks he is, once light shows up, it will forever vanish away. It simply means that all this time that the darkness has reigned on earth, since the time they took over the earth's government from man at the Garden of Eden, that in the sight of God and that of eternity, which is actually what God represents, it is an insignificant time to compare 3 hours from 24 hours. It simply means that Calvary is the answer. That no matter how thick that darkness may seem to look like, that once it comes in contact with Calvary, their backbone will be broken. It means that salvation from sin will only come from Calvary. Everything has humanity. The same problem is concerned. It means that any struggle with darkness, no matter how powerful that struggle may look like, once it is brought face to face to Calvary, that struggle will have an everlasting solution. It means the man without Calvary experience is in bondage of sin. And if he dies that way, he will die a sinner and will perish without a Savior. It means that any man who have not visited Calvary will keep contending with darkness and will gain victory only the day he made up his mind to visit Calvary. It means that Calvary is the solution to anything called darkness and whatsoever darkness represents on earth in the life of humanity. 3 hours in 24 hours is minute. 3 hours in 24 hours is nothing. 3 hours in 24 hours tells you how powerless and nothing darkness is. In all their struggle, in all their fighting, in everything they have been doing in order to overthrow man, conquer man, stand on the head of man, so that man will never lift up his head in order to gain salvation that is being brought unto him. Read it again. 45. Now from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Darkness showed up. And then, after only 3 hours, it disappeared and never to appear no more. What does it mean? Darkness will not hold victory forever. What does it mean? Darkness will not reign forever. What does it mean? Darkness has a minute time limit to operate and to reign so long as the earth is concerned. What does it mean? Darkness not minding how they package themselves to look in the eyes of man, not minding how brutal they want humanity to think that their operations looks like on earth and in a life. They are powerless, they are nothing, so long as Calvary is concerned. This is not the first time darkness was made to disappear on earth. This is not the first time. If you follow history, you will discover that darkness will always be defeated so long as God and his business is concerned on earth. Genesis chapter 1 from verse 1. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. This is a combat between light and darkness. And in each of these combats, darkness will always lose the victory. And light will win supremacy over darkness. And that's why we must understand that Calvary has provided solution to the thick darkness that had enveloped humanity and this earth before Calvary was made a possibility on earth. This is another victory of light over darkness. All the saints in light must rejoice that it does not matter what darkness thinks to do in their life. If only it only have 3 hours to last, and then it will disappear and never to appear again. We must hold